Today's bear hunting shows are more about bear shooters than they are about bear hunters. The typical show has a guy drive up in a fancy pickup truck, all decked out with all his sponsors, and he meets a guide who walks him to a tree that's over a bait where he's never been before. That's not this show. This show is for the true flannel shirt wearing bear hunters. The guys who live the life, pick the tree, choose the baits, guys with dirt under their fingernails and burrs in their hair. If you're looking for a show with lots of kills, a few fancy trucks, and enough pixie dust product spam to make you wonder if you're watching a hunting show or an infomercial, you have come to the wrong place. So if you're a true bear man, throw in a pizza, kick back and watch the show, and don't forget to throw the crust in the bait bucket. Typically, bear guides will set you up and only give you one bait or two baits, and they're not always set up for the best winds or the winds that you actually have. And if you ask me, you have to have lots of options, and you have to be willing to sit out a day or two, if the wind's not right. And I don't think a lot of people get that. Bear guides will tell you that bears will come in no matter what the wind, even if they get downwind. And I don't believe that's true. It is true with some bears, some smaller bears and stuff, and occasionally the big bear will make a mistake, but a bear doesn't get to be 15 years old and survive 15 seasons by come walking in downwind of a bait smelling the hunter there. It just doesn't happen. And I've seen big bears circle baits, get downwind of me and leave. I know it happens. And I've seen it ruin a hunt. I've seen bears that are on your camera every day, day after day after day. And then you go in there and hunt, and he circles downwind, smells you, and you never see him on that camera again. And I've had other bears that come in nocturnal after that. Then they only come in at night. And sometimes they come back in, sometimes they don't. But you need to hunt with the mindset to do whatever it takes to give you the best opportunities at these big bears. And that's how you're going to put big bears in the wall year after year. You only get a permit every so often, unless you're going to Canada or something. So you need to optimize your opportunities in order to put multiple big bears on your walls and to get opportunities when you get a tag. One thing that's worked really well for me is to wait till I have the perfect wind for bait, and especially if I have a real big bear on that bait. Patience is critical. And what I mean by a perfect wind is not a wind in my face, not a wind blowing from me to that bait, but a crosswind. First off, I know where the bear is holing up, where he's going to hole up, down in that swampy area, and I'm off to the side. He's not up on the high ground. He's down in that swamp area, and I'm coming in from the high ground to my stand. And when you got a crosswind, when that big bear comes in, he's going to circle downwind. And when he can smell that bait, he's coming into it. Well, I'm up higher. So my wind is just off, and it's missing that bear. And that's exactly how the hunt worked out that we're going to air today. I set up on this bear for a crosswind, and it took us a few days before we got that crosswind, but when we did, it worked out pretty sweet. This hunt takes place in a remote wilderness area in far northern Minnesota. I had two friends with me that had bear permits, John Kitcha and Steve Pagel. I also had another friend along, Tyler Witt, who was along to help carry bear bait, to watch bear camp while we're out hunting, and to help get the bears in and out. John Kitch's goal on this hunt was to shoot his first bear with a bow. Steve Pagel's goal on this hunt was to get a decent bear. My goal was to get a big bear. Baiting season in Minnesota is only a few weeks long, which is a good thing because I drove the round trip of 18 hours back and forth to bait each week. We run cameras on all the baits so that we know what's going on and what's coming in.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Then you get better pictures.
So I have the camera so it's not facing the sun, and so that it's over my head high. I'm 6'2". There's branches in the bottom here, so a bear can't reach up, grab it, swat it, or eat it. They have a tendency to do that, especially if you touch the camera with bear bait hands. In this case, we have somebody behind the camera, Steve Pagel, who put that camera up because he doesn't have the bait on his hands. And he keeps his hands clean just for that reason. Bears eating cameras sucks. And we ran 3 baits per hunter, so we had 9 baits going. We would run a large quantity of bait to make sure it lasted until I got back to bait again. So it had to be a week's worth of bait. And the bear activity is pretty heavy on some of these baits, so the baiting was pretty heavy. And we use a large variety of baits because we find that some bears prefer certain baits over others. And you know, one bear might like donuts, one bear likes candy, and one bear likes meat. So we use a variety of baits and hauled it all up there and back into the woods. So this is a bait we call the remote bait. It's way back in the swamp. We're in northern Minnesota, and there's nobody hunting anywhere near us. This is a bait I've hunted before. What I'm going to do here is show you how I bait these stands. Now I'm going to come in here this weekend, next weekend, and one more weekend, and then I hunt. So I've got 3 weeks of baiting. The trick is to keep the bait out here, enough bait, so that these bears keep coming back. And that when I get here next week, there's still a little bait left. So that they don't abandon this and wander someplace else. So they get to last long enough to learn that I'm going to keep baiting. So the first thing we're going to start out with is I got some pitas and a little bit of cheese in there and a bunch of sausage from a friend of mine at a company. And we're going to go into a little bait hole here and we're going to fill it in. Use that stuff later. Then I'm going to take and put some yogurt bites in there. This was scrap from another company that was gracious enough to give it to me. This is a mixture of berry flavored, raspberry, strawberry, vanilla, cherry, all kinds of stuff mixed in here. They look like that. It's like a powder, chunky. Really got a lot of odor to it. Dust flying through the air. And here I got another bag of pitas and sausage and stuff to put over the top of it to drain through. Soak into that powdery stuff. What bear wouldn't be happy without a banana cream pie?
Baked to perfection.
So, take that box, it kind of spilled in there. I'll just put it on the ground here so it gets all over everything. And then I got a bag mixed with half donuts, Twinkies, and Zingers, and half bread. And that'll go over the top. Alright. Then we're going to cover the whole thing with logs. About 6 of the baits were really active and had big bears on them. And the other 3 baits we weren't having as much activity on, but they were all getting hit. One bait for me has always been a really good bait. I've hunted it 3 times and we've had some huge bears on that bait and taken some huge bears off that bait. And once again, it had a huge bear on that bait. And I was watching it closely. John and Steve both tagged out opening day on bears that met their goals.
There he is.
All right. There you can get your camera on him.
I got him.
Well, that ain't too bad. He ain't a monster. He ain't a little one. He's a tweener. Little boar. That ain't too bad at all.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at, it's got the circles from that broadhead. Look at that.
Wow.
He's fairly decent.
Well,
Good job, Steve.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah! Forge.
Congratulations. Forge Bow does it again.
Right. Serial bear killer.
All right.
Where's the arrow?
He was standing on top and he went.
There's the arrow right there.
Where?
Right there, Dan. Straight ahead over there.
What?
Right there.
There he is.
Right here.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
that's all the way through.
Hit that. Hit that tree.
There's blood on it. Not a lot of blood on it, but there's blood on it.
He picked off through there.
Hold this. Oh, not you. Here, let me use your light ones. Let me switch that arrow over. So. Which way are you standing there? Is he up on the log?
Yeah. Right through there. There's more blood and all kinds of blood up there. Yeah, he went through all this shit.
Oh yeah, look at all the blood. Wow. Blood all over this log.
If I go this way.
No, you want to get in the blood trail. I hate to take it over on you. Hey, here we got blood right there. All sprayed.
Wow.
Go ahead and follow it. This is the tree I shot mine out of right there. I was right there. Keep going.
Good blood.
Right there and it's there and
Here's some blood right here.
right here.
Right here, Dan.
Yeah, there's somewhere we're standing too.
Probably went through this way.
Probably.
Or that way.
I'm sure that way. Take a look there.
He's blowing it out both sides.
Yep. Here's blood right here.
Well,
Really
So he's going this way. Oh, there's blood there. Blood up there. There's blood on that.
trail going through here, John.
Blood on. Oh, you can see right where he went.
Yeah.
You can see right where he crashed through here.
Yeah, go up there and
Let's go up
find
to
some
that
blood.
tree. There's some blood on that stick right there.
This is the tree I shot mine out of here.
Oh, nice. It's a big ass tree.
You find some?
There's some right up.
He's right there. There he is. All right.
Oh, yep.
Sweet.
You didn't get far.
Oh, he's pretty good
He's a
size.
good bear.
Not a little.
About the same size as the other one.
Good job.
Yeah, no, this thing makes it a cakewalk.
They got the water to navigate up to.
Yep.
The bait I was watching that had the real big bear coming in, I was waiting for the perfect wind. A perfect crosswind, where the bear, when he would circle, would come into the wind, smelling the bait, but not smelling me. On the cameras, the big bear was always coming in from downwind. Tyler was coming with me and acting as cameraman, and my wife was sitting back watching bear cam. We hopped around a couple baits that had big bears coming in, but a little more sporadic. We were really waiting for the perfect wind to hunt the big bear bait back in the swamp. Then a few days into the hunt, we got the right wind, and we moved in for the kill.
This is a bait we call the remote. We've been waiting for the right wind. Today we finally got it. The last 3 days in a row, we've had shooter bears come in daylight on this bait. We've had, yesterday we had bears in at 1 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, at 5 o'clock, and at 7 o'clock. And it just kept getting bigger. There's 2 bears I'd really like to shoot here. But today's the first work day after a holiday weekend, and there's a logging operation that just came in, and they're within a mile on the backside of this swamp, and they're making a lot of racket. I'm hoping that don't spook the bears. But we finally got the right wind. Let's cross our fingers.
All right, you're live.
Okay, so we had a whole bunch of daylight hits here yesterday, even from midday on, and we had really high hopes because 3 days in a row we had 2 different big bears in daylight. So we finally had the right wind. We went in, and what do you know, now that it's a work day, the loggers came in and started logging about a half mile from us, and they logged until 5 o'clock. and I didn't know if that would affect us or not. Right at last light, when it got calm and cool, we decided to get down, and all of a sudden we heard a snap. So we waited a little bit, heard another snap, and then we didn't have camera light anymore, and I only hunt the camera light. So I took my arrow off, put it in the quiver, and was just going to put it on the string, and Tyler says, I heard something behind us. So I'm looking behind us, and I go, I don't hear nothing back there, and I turn around, and the bear's in front of us looking at us. One of the good ones. So I dropped the string, I slipped an arrow out. He had heard us, and he kept looking up at us. But finally he got okay, and he started coming in, so I snapped the arrow on. I drew the bow, and when he turned to go towards the bait pile, I put a shot on him. I think it's a good shot. I think he's down. It sounded like he went about 50 yards, but there was no death moan, and I didn't get a pass through. I think I'm in the far shoulder, so I'm a little nervous, but I think I got him. So we're going to go back to camp, regroup, make sure all the stick is out of my eye, and then we're going to come back out and track.
In the morning, we were moving through the swamp, looking around. We still couldn't find any blood, not a smear on a branch. No sign, and there was so much bear sign there, and bear tracks and stuff, and the bears coming into this bait, that was really all pretty confusing. So I went the way I heard the bear go, and I was going through some stuff, and it got really thick.
You're hot.
All right, last night we came through here and we searched and we searched and we searched. We couldn't find the bear. I was walking, I see something black over there, and Tyler says he sees my arrow sticking out of it. I think we found him. So we're gonna go over and look right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can see your bright fletching sticking out.
Oh, yeah. The arrow's still in him.
Stinks, you smell that?
Oh, a lot further back than I thought I was.
Holy shit.
Take a look at that pumpkin. He crashed right into this log, eh? And he's got a good pumpkin on him. Big heavy bear.
Good job, Dan. Oh yeah, he's a big one, man. Holy smokes. Good job.
All right. Well, I'm sure glad we found him.
How much do you think he weighs?
Oh, he's probably about 300 pounds.
Nice.
He got a nice pumpkin on him.
Yeah, I seen that from the stand.
My two buddies were nice enough to pack up their bears and leave early, so it left me and Tyler to get that big bear out of that wilderness by ourselves. And let me tell you, it was not easy.
You know what? Let's go right through here. There's a spot here. It's real mucky.
You lose the boot again?
Whoa, hold it.
Tyler's going down.
I hope so. On three. 1, 2, 3.
So what did we learn from this hunt? Have a little patience. Wait for the right wind. Hunt when the timing's right. Can't tell you how many times I've gone in, had a chance at a bear, and blew it, and that bear does not come back in daylight again. Every now and then they do. But you gotta hit it right. You gotta have your timing right. You gotta have your stand right. You gotta have your bait in the right position. And you gotta have that wind right. And then you'll start killing big bears on a regular basis. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
Maybe if I just grab it by the tail, I can aim it the right way, right? Interesting, he's not spraying.